Hey Canucks fans, the Canucks certainly still have a lot of work to do on their roster, but let's take a moment to bask in the win that was the Nate Schmidt trade. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram, I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the good-looking Canucks Positivity Club. This is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Tuesday, October the 13th. This is where you get Canucks insight that's positive and timely. I want to thank everyone who joined me for my live stream last night. Over 100 people watching simultaneously, which is pretty cool. And usually I get worried when I bump my live streams from Sunday to Monday night because I don't know if it was the weekend or whatever. And usually the number's a lot lower, but it was big last night. Maybe people are excited about the Canucks. They're excited about the Nate Schmidt trade. They just wanted to talk or hang out or see me. Who knows? But it went really well. And not because of that, but because I joined a bowling league on Sunday nights. I will now move my live streams to Monday nights going forward. So I'll make sure that I remind you of that as we get closer to next Monday. I admit, yesterday wasn't feeling so great in the afternoon, given that we had lost Markstrom, Tanev, Stetcher, and then we heard news about Toffoli in the morning going to Montreal. But then it made sense that we probably couldn't offer Toffoli that $4.5 million that he wanted because we were saving up to make a play, make a move for Nate Schmidt of the Vegas Golden Knights. And as soon as Vegas signed Pietrangelo, who knows if Jim Benning was already on the case, so to speak, if he had this in mind already, or if he worked really quickly, whatever it was, the Vancouver Canucks end up trading a 2022 third round draft pick for basically top four, could even be a top pairing defenseman in Nate Schmidt. That's why I think it's a home run of a trade. Now, last night, in my effort to get my vlog out pretty darn quick, I kind of glossed over a few things. And one thing I said kind of flippantly was that Nate Schmidt was a third pairing D-man in Vegas at the end of the playoffs. That's not the case. On the right side, he was playing with Donovan McNabb on the left side. So sorry, Braden McNabb. Donovan McNabb was a football player. He was playing with Braden McNabb. So as McNabb and Holden was one pairing, and then Martinez and Theodore was the other pairing. So they were basically interchangeable as first and second pairings. The third pairing right side was Zach Whitecloud. So I didn't mean to get that mixed up. I just couldn't picture, I was talking really quickly. So no, he's not a third pairing defenseman. He can be a first pairing D-man or a second pairing D-man. So let's talk about why I like this trade so much. Firstly, I like the fact that we didn't give up a lot. Now you could say, oh, the Canucks aren't in a position to trade prospects and picks. We saw what happened this year when they didn't have any picks. I'm happy it's a pick and not a prospect. So I'm happy about that. And a third rounder, not the best, but certainly could be a lot worse if it was a first or second rounder. So I actually I think that we did well from that standpoint and that we didn't give up a lot. Now there's some people saying, oh, we should have been harder. We should have negotiated better and actually made Vegas give us another asset to take Nate Schmidt off their hands, given that, they're in salary cap trouble. But, I think that's fair. But we're not obviously in the negotiating room, and maybe the Canucks did try and go for that, or maybe it was a non-starter. Who knows? But I don't worry so much about that part of the deal, to be honest with you. Do I worry that it's 5 years? No, because Nate Schmidt, he's 29 years old, and you always have a risk as soon as the defenseman gets passes 30 and 33, 34. But because of the way Schmidt plays, he's an excellent skater, excellent skater. He's not like the most rough and tumble defenseman where Chris Tanev, where he's blocking every shot, where you wouldn't call Nate Schmidt a warrior. I would not say that he doesn't have courage or strength, but I just think he's also not as injury prone as Chris Tanev. So guys that can skate well, especially defensemen, you think of the Niedermayers of the world who can skate, Scott Niedermayer, who can skate really well, it's Chris Chelios. They can last a long time. They can last a long time in the league, more so than a Chris Tanev who is blocking every shot and getting every battle. So that's not to say Nate Schmidt's not a good defender, but I certainly think that I'm not worried about the 5 years, the length of the contract. I'm also not worried about the money because, $6 million, it's a lot. When I made the point where Tanev and Stetcher went away for $6.2 million, but I think you're getting a better player than Tanev and Stetcher even combined. You're getting a guy who can play first line minutes, who can play a lot of minutes, who can skate like the wind, who has offensive capability. Remember, he's been getting 30, 31, 36 points, some in truncated seasons. He can be a 40 to 45 point guy easy, especially if he's going to play a Quinn Hughes, which I'll get to in a second. So I don't mind the money because I think over 5 years, that's a decent contract. That's how much you pay for a top pairing D-man. And I think you'd have more issue with Tyler Myers' contract that we're paying him $6 million, as opposed to the $6 million that we're paying Nate Schmidt. So I'm fine with what we gave up. I'm fine with the money, the term of the contract, and I'm fine with the money we're paying him. Now, who do you play him with? Well, if you don't make any more changes on D, you could have a really dynamic duo of Hughes and Schmidt, and then you have Edler and Myers, who play together on your second pairing, and some combination of Juolevi, Rafferty, Rathbone, Chatfield, and Ben on the third pairing. That doesn't sound so good, but I'm more focusing on Nate Schmidt right now. Or do you split the two really good skaters up and you go Hughes with Myers and then Edler with Schmidt? I like Edler Schmidt. I'm not sure if I like Hughes and Myers. I'm not sure if Myers can play consistently the number of minutes that Hughes will be called on to play. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Because the last thing I want to talk about this is what are we going to do with the rest of our roster? Yeah, we only have $2 million to sign both Virtanen and Gaudette. So obviously something has to give. If you expect Gaudette to get a $1.2 million, maybe a Tyler Mott money, so then you still need another couple million to sign Jake Virtanen if you indeed are going to sign him. So there's options. You can still trade Virtanen. It leaves us kind of thin up front. But you could trade Virtanen for a pick or two, or maybe a second or third round draft pick. That frees up that money. You know, you got Hoglander, you have Lind, you have Podkolzin all coming, so they're going to be $2 million a year cheaper than Virtanen. So you can think about that. You can plan for that. So that's one thing. The other thing you can do, and Harman Dial brought this up in The Athletic, is after the arbitration ruling comes out, there's a 48-hour period where you can actually do a buyout. So it's almost like a second chance, a secondary buyout, they call it. But you can only do that for a player that's making over more than $4 million a year. So in that case, Brandon Sutter is the guy who would fit that criteria. So there's a chance they could, Virtanen could get $2.5, $3 million arbitration, and then the Canucks could buy out Brandon Sutter to make that work. Then you save, you do save some of that cap savings, basically half of it spread over 2 years, if that makes sense. I've done the math before, but in essence, yeah, then you're carrying Brandon Sutter for another year past this season on the books, but then you're getting immediate cap relief. So that's one way that the Canucks could do it. But we can explore that a little bit later when it comes closer to Jake Virtanen's arbitration hearing, even if they even get that far. So a lot of things to think about, but I think I want to come on here and say, the last thing I want to say is as always, I preach patience. I don't get too excited, although I get very excited sometimes. I don't get too excited when the Canucks do something well. I don't get too down when the Canucks don't do something well. Yes, free agency didn't start well, but the Nate Schmidt trade looks really good for us. And we're only 5 days now in a free agency. We still have another at least 8 weeks to go before the season starts January 1. So a lot can happen. So I'm preaching patience, and let's reserve judgment until we see the big picture of what Jim Benning has up his sleeve. Because as arbitration comes, as free agents, as the market continues to crumble, and more guys are on the outside looking in, and more teams are in salary cap trouble, Jim Benning has the opportunity to do something cool and I can't believe I use the word cool, to be creative with the roster. So we'll see. I'm preaching patience, and patience is a virtue. Sometimes I don't have a lot of it, but I'm preaching it in this case. I like to preach. Canucks fans, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this trade. I know I got a lot of good feedback to my vlog yesterday, but let me know now that you had the day to think about it. And let me know about some of the factors that I talked about in this vlog right now. Leave a comment below. I'd love to read, react, and reply. Subscribe if you like to. Like this video if you like to. Stay safe, stay healthy. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. God bless, and go Canucks go.